Hello, everybody. This is Relicode and Anastasia, and our special guest today is amazing Raquel Santos. So she's a startup happiness officer. Raquel, hello.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Raquel, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, sure. So my name is Raquel. I'm the Startup Happiness Officer at the incubator of Build Up Labs here in Lisbon, Portugal. Previously, I have a background in business and entrepreneurship, and I've also worked and co-founded my own startup in the past.
Oh, that's great. So thank you for being here today and joining this conversation. I hope this will be useful for our subscribers and startups. And as you work in Build Up Labs, can you introduce Build Up Labs a little bit and tell how it can help startups from non-European countries?
Definitely. So Build Up Labs actually is a spin-off of the leading marketing agency Come On here in Portugal. And it started back in 2014 as just a startup studio where we had, and we still do, have our resident team, and we create our own products, launch them, and test them. And actually only last year, 2020, so it's actually quite young, we opened our incubator in order to expand our reach and to be able to help more startups out there. And well, we help a lot of startups. Currently, we have over 20 startups in the incubator, and we help them with our network in Portugal and also our growing network in Europe. So we connect our startups with our mentors, partners, and potential investors that can be a critical success factor for them. And also, of course, with our knowledge and our experience of creating our own businesses. And then importantly, we have a lot of startups that are actually from non-EU. And so the bureaucratic process of moving to Portugal can be quite complex. So we help them with our experience since we have a lot of founders who have gone through similar challenges. And we also have great legal partners that are available to support in this process of the bureaucratic complications to move to Portugal.
So that's amazing, many functions, and you help a lot to startups, so it will be useful for them to join you. Okay, but to join you, they should apply to your program, apply to the incubator, and they should fill the special form. So what criteria do you look at while accepting some startups?
Yeah, so several things. I would say one of the things is definitely the team. So we take a look at who's the team, do they have the right skills, and even better, but not mandatory, do they have experience in the industry they're working in, and have they actually created previous startups in the past? We just that's also why we like to have a call before accepting them, so that we can actually talk to them and see how we feel about their experience and how comfortable they are, I guess. And then we also look obviously at the product. How scalable is it? Does it have a potential to grow in Portugal to the rest of the world? That's super important for us. And there are products that we we have to analyze to see if we think that in a few years this will still be relevant. Yeah.
Okay, what stage a startup should be at? Can it be an early stage startup, or it should be like a serious startup?
Well, we definitely accept startups in all stages. Many of them right now that we have are actually quite early stage. However, I would say that if the startup is only at the idea stage, we want to make sure that the team has the skills to at least build their MVP or minimum viable product in order to, after that get market traction and further validate their idea. Because we believe that if the team just has an idea and they can't even really validate it, and they need to get funding in order to hire a team that can actually build the prototype. We think that's very complicated and very hard to accomplish. So we want to make sure that the teams that we receive in the incubator already have a good set of skills to at least start with.
Okay, thank you. How do you think, how many founders should be in a team?
There's really no right number. We have, teams with solo founders up to maybe 3 founders. A few more, I think it's fine, but yeah, like maximum 5, I would say. And 5 is already maybe harder to work with in the beginning, but we don't have anything against it, obviously.
Okay, great. So after filling the form, you are reviewing it, and after that you schedule a call. So during this call, what questions do you usually ask?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it really depends on the startup and on each case. But I guess the usual questions are, who's the team, once again, what are their skills and experience, and also what they've done so far with the project. So how advanced they are, why they've chosen Portugal specifically, and maybe how they feel we can help them right now. Because this is very important, and also one of the questions that we ask so that we understand if we are a good match, because it's really important for us to see if the startup is a good match for us, and also if we're a good match for them in terms of needs, expectations. Yeah, because otherwise we can't really make sure that the relationship that we'll have in the future will be fruitful.
Okay, thank you. What areas do you prefer to build up labs? So what startups would be a good match for you?
That's a very good question. So how a good match, I think, maybe the founders, how we feel about them, their personality, and then for example, the industry. We accept startups in all industries, and we have a preference for digital products, but we also have non-digital products in our incubator, and we love them equally, obviously. But our main experience is in digital products. So, for example, that's one of the things we look at. And then once again, we see their expectations and their needs. And if we feel like we can help them, then we believe it's a good match.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you. Do you have any experience of helping Russian probably startups or startups from CIS countries, Belarus, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, something like that?
Yes, we already have one Russian startup incubated, and we had one Ukrainian. However, they are quite recent, so I can't really talk about the experience we've had with them, but we do expect to receive or to welcome new Russian startups in the future, in the near future, actually.
Okay. That's good because our startups sometimes, our founders sometimes can be nervous, and they always want to ask, oh, can I meet some people who can I talk to, who has the same experience as me? So that I think that's important for them. Okay, Raquel, can you tell me please what are the key success factors for startups to go to Portugal, first of all?
Oof. So key success factors. Well, there's probably no real answer for this. I mean, it really depends on the industry, a lot of things. But I guess what I would say is for the startup to do a lot of research on the Portuguese market, because we've received many applications from non-EU startups wanting to enter the Portuguese market specifically. And one of the things that we have to think about is, do we see a potential specifically in the Portuguese market? And there are startups out there that we don't think will be able to scale or launch their product in Portugal because of the culture, the past of the country, etc. Like how open we are to this type of technology or product. So I would say definitely do a lot of research on the Portuguese market. Even talk to Portuguese people about this. And then also start building a network in Portugal. I know it can be hard in the beginning when we don't know anyone, but join online communities, maybe reach out to some people on LinkedIn, for example. And yeah, basically, if you are accepted by an incubator, the incubator will definitely have a good network to start with and to help you with this.
Okay, thank you. You also said about communities. Can you recommend any communities for startups? Probably it can be online communities.
Definitely. So I recommend 351. It's a startup community from Portugal. It's online. It's Slack community. And I always recommend this to new founders that have just entered Portugal, because it's great to meet new people and also to ask for help or any advice, or recommendation of someone that can help them with something. So definitely join this community.
Okay, thank you for your recommendations. Can you hear me well? Because I see that the internet is not so good and there are some problems.
I can hear you well, yeah.
Okay, good. And probably I want to ask you one of the last questions. That's about your advice about the go-to-market strategy regarding Portugal and Europe.
Yeah, once again, I would say it's a bit similar to what I've just said about, research and the network. So by joining your incubator, they will have a lot of knowledge on the Portuguese market, and they have a big network of partners, mentors that probably have even, another network, and this, will create a network effect that will definitely be very helpful. And then take advantage of your incubator to create a go-to-market strategy with them, and then get them to help you implement this strategy.
Okay, that's amazing. So I think I don't have any more questions for now, and probably you can give some more advice to startups who want to come to you, or can you tell us probably what are you looking at right now?
Yes. So what would I say to any startup out there? Keep going. I think sometimes starting, your own project can be very difficult. I've been there myself, and that's why I was so inspired to join actually Build Up Labs to, empower other startups out there who need the support. So I believe that it can be a very difficult process, but keep going. And yes, definitely build your network. Look for mentors out there that can help you. Industry mentors, but also mentors that have experience creating their own startups. And join communities, meet other founders that are going through the same. I think that's extremely important. And what we're looking for at the moment, we're always looking for startups to join our incubator. You can just apply through our website, and we'll definitely take a look at your application and give you an answer. Even if it's a negative one, we make sure to always reply to our, applications and the founders. And yeah, that's basically it. If you need anything, just send us an email, and we'll try to help you out.
That's great. So the link to your website will be below under the video. So please look at this, and our subscribers can visit to the website, can write to you and ask questions or apply for the program. So thank you a lot for today's conversation, and I think it was helpful.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. I think it was great.
Yeah, thank you.